with that, I always like to run a quick demo. So you guys should be able to see me in there, right? I'm orange, red, and yellow. We're looking for blue and black spots. Obviously, there's always going to be blue and black spots when we have somebody in view because that's a big variation in temperature. But we're looking for those blue and black spots to move. So you're going to get the full video back. It does record audio, so it's another point of audio for you guys. We're going to stick together. Like, we're not going to separate or anything. I'm not going to shove you guys into a darkened corner and say, good luck, have fun. But when you guys are going through this tomorrow, or whenever you guys get a chance to, you're going to be looking for those blue and black spots. Dad, there's also a blue dot that bounces around. It's going to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that moment. It's just kind of to help guide you of like, hey, this might be a cold spot area. So that's the way it's kind of set up.
Got it.
So you're going to keep the camera on your left. That's the piece with the wiring.
Yep.
So we're going to do starts and stops throughout the night only because as great as the hardware is, the software is horrible.
Yep.
So kind of take that for what it's worth. All right, so we're going to be using two different types of spirit boxes tonight. So spirit boxes are FM, it gets a radio sweeper. So it's going to sweep through all the FM radio stations really, really fast. And then I have mine slowed down versus the television shows. That's another reason why I ask about the TV shows, because it's usually just white noise, just static. So this is slowed down so that way the radio DJs, the song lyrics, and the commercials will come through. And that's what we want. So that's what you're going to be listening for. So the cool thing is you're going to have an earbud in. I'm going to give you a set of earbuds. I don't want them back. But you're going to be listening to this pretty much most of the night. And whatever you hear, let me know. It also records the entire sweep for us. So you're going to get the full audio recording back tomorrow. I'll let you know what I found in that audio recording and if it's actually relevant to any of the stories and the locations that we're going to go to tonight.
Cool.
So this one goes to you. You have one button to worry about. It's a volume button. It's already sweeping through the stations, as you can see. And then the whole, once I get you your earbuds, is going to be on the right-hand side. Right. So let me get you a set of earbuds. I buy these in bulk, so by all means, pick a color, any color. There you go.
You need those, Anderson.
Can't see it.
Anderson needs those. She's stealing mine.
Oh, they're not super great quality, so don't get too excited.
So you kind of do that. That's fine. Okay.
I just don't want her stealing
Here, hold
mine
this.
anymore.
Hold that good boy.
Turn the sound up. Oh, I broke it.
Xbox.
Oh, you already turned it off.
FM.
Sorry. Oh, you're good. So it's the wheel, not the button.
Okay.
Just so you know. I'll set it off again. Amazing.
Thank you.
You are going to have, like, my multitasker. You're the one that's really into this, so hopefully you're going to be able to capture a few things. So this is what we call a millimeter. It does 3 different things, so let me kind of show you what it does. The top number is going to measure electromagnetic fields. Anything above 2.5. I kind of want to know what's going on here. You need some light?
Yeah, where's the...
Wait, where's the volume button?
Yeah, it's
My
the
button
wheel
is-
at the top
Okay.
next to the button.
Put these in.
Both of them?
Yeah,
No, one.
most people just do one. So anything above 2.5, and it's going to measure things like our cell phones and wiring, and we're going to debunk a lot of things with that specific number. That's going to measure EMF. The bottom number, Dad finds anything on the camera, you and I, it's measuring temperature, so you and I can figure out what's going on based on the temperature. The last thing that it has is it has a motion sensor on there. So if anything gets close to the antenna, it will go off. So the closer it gets, the higher it's going to go. I point it down because it's really, really bright. I'm going to show you more about that at the first location, just because when I'm trying to go through history and that kind of stuff, we'll actually shut it off. Just keep the little flap open, focus on those big red numbers, and you're going to have a spirit box too. So
Okay.
you're going to have 2 things. So the reason why I give this one to you is because if I give this one Anderson, right? Did I get the names right? All right, so if I give this one over to Anderson, then she's going to focus on this one because it's a lot easier to follow and lose the focus of the one that we're actually listening to. This one's just going to give us words from time to time in the center of the screen, and then it's going to save all the words to a list. This is a phone app. It is meant to be a game and a hoax kind of mentality. Only about 15 to 20% of the words that pop up tonight will actually be relevant. I will give you guys the full list back and tell you which words were relevant. We're going to clear out last night's tour because they already got their list and start us off fresh. When I want to see the list, which I don't want to see every word that pops up, you just hit this little white scroll there and you'll be able to scroll through this. Again, this is a regular cell phone. It just has a battery pack attached to the back of it to make sure it stays alive. So, now that everybody is fully loaded.
So wait, does she need an earphone as well?
Nope.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Wait.
So I'm just wondering,
goes by
why is this
temperature?
stuff like relevant? Like the radio stuff.
So the gist of what you're doing is it's a 50-50 shot that if you hear something that it could be relevant to the location of where we are, a person in history I'm talking about or that we're trying to communicate with, or something even going on with one of us.
Alright.
With that whole relevancy of spirit box is kind of a way for the ghosts and spirits to communicate back to us. They could be using the DJs and song lyrics to convey messages back. That's the whole purpose of it. So let's talk about why we started here. This obviously Big John's Tavern. I put it in a text message on purpose so that way you guys have a big red flag to find me. Big John's was actually named after a football player. His name was Big John Kennedy. He played for the 1947 New York Giants. This was his bar. He used to sit in the back of the bar and he would tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, two guys come in, they're not old enough to drink. So he has the bartender throw them out. They leave pretty angry and come back the next night. They try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. John sees what's going on and gets up and just starts pounding these guys into the floor, just beating the hell out of them. So, a couple of gunshots go off, John gets hit in the neck, and the bullet lands in the wall. John gets up after being shot and tells the bartender, get him another beer, get the two guys on the floor in an ambulance. So first thing is that nobody died in that story. What's haunting the place is the bullet hole. His blood is still in this building. People that sit in the front of this building tend to get a little nauseous, queasy, headaches, very light symptoms. I usually bring that up on purpose as kind of a heated warning that if anybody feels any of those things tonight, I need to know immediately so we can move us all to safety. So that's kind of the whole point of the story. Now, you guys have taken other Charleston tours. You know that we had a big earthquake here, I'm sure, because every tour talks about it. This is allegedly where the first death occurred. So the white mantle you see in the middle of the building, it also goes around the front of the building. Piece of mantling broke off from that earthquake and apparently killed somebody. It struck him in the back of the head. They say you can see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street. I bring that story up just because it's a great segue so nobody thinks about getting sick on the tour. So.
Got it.
All right, I say we go ghost hunting so we can teach you guys more, some
go.
more stuff.
Alright.
Just wake up.
You said this goes by temperature.
Are you guys from New York? Is that the original or is that where you moved to?
I'm from Raleigh. We're from Raleigh.
I live in New York.
He said this.
Yeah.
You had to put it by my phone.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No, because I was on my phone, so it like heated up, and I could feel it. So I didn't turn it up.
Oh, it went up. All right, let's do it. All right, let's listen.
I'm originally from Ohio. That's the only reason why I
Okay.
asked. So
All right.
it's almost like you guys went the opposite way
Yep.
and I came down. So this is kind of a level one. Do you have words popping up already?
Hail.
Okay.
So
We'll see if Mary pops up too, like a Hail Mary, a football term. Cool and hail. Nope, I'm gonna hit the top circle here. There you go. Otherwise you'll clear the list out and we'll lose it all. Not that we have much to begin with yet. So this is kind of a level one. This is a very easy spot. We don't spend a lot of time here. It's just a kind of a get you used to your devices kind of area.
Is that the bullet hole or is that just like a...
The bullet hole's in the front of the building.
Oh,
This is
sorry.
the back. So, this is the big red barn lot. This is where we keep the horses for the carriage rides, for Palmetto Carriage. The horses are still in there, which is why we use earbuds on the spirit boxes now, because they don't like the white noise. The only history here is really simple. Imagine when I have 10 people here, I have to teach 10 people how to use devices. So, again, this is just a great practice area. The history here is this is where we held horses that deliver milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. So in case you girls didn't know, people used to have their milk and eggs delivered to them instead of going to the store. So this is where those horses were actually kept. So this place here, two of you actually have spirit boxes. This is not TV and YouTube. This is not, is somebody here? Like everybody wants to ask, right? So you want to ask questions here that you already know the answers to. So first off, if somebody answered no to is somebody here, that means somebody's here, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we just kind of stay away from that kind of stuff. If somebody's here, tell me what color the big red barn is. Obviously that's an easy question and you know the answer to that. It's red. So you're using conveyed messages from DJs and song lyrics. The word red might not be there, but fire truck, blood, heart.
Taylor Swift.
This is Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
of course. So, but with that, fire truck and blood are specifically red. So what color is a big red barn? Blood. I would accept that as an acceptable answer. However, a lot of the times tonight, I'm going to be looking for double clues, something going off with the EMF meter. 2 clues as far as the 2 different spirit boxes. For example, if you hear the number 40, she has the word art on her spirit box word list. Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. Do you see how they kind of go together? I need
Yep.
verification.
I got sorry.
Again, 80% of those terms aren't going to mean anything. It's going to be us to fish them out.
This is also at 0.
Okay. Well, again, sometimes it starts here, sometimes it waits until we leave.
I can't really hear anything that's like going on. It's just a bunch of like.
Wait, it's at 5. It's at 5.
That's a good number. Now, with that device that you're holding, it doesn't record anything, so you'll see me write those numbers down. But as far as like what you're not hearing, like what are you hearing? Are you hearing the stations flip through at
Just a
least?
bunch of static.
Okay.
And stations flipping through.
So listen to whatever those DJs and song lyrics say. That's kind of like, no matter how silly it might be relevant to where we are.
Okay.
I find that a lot. For example, the song "Some Like It" or "Drop It Like It's Hot." There's a lot of fires in Charleston. So if you're asking about certain fires and they say "Drop It Like It's Hot," they're referring to that fire. Then they might give us the year that specific fire may have happened. So we're going to walk slowly through here just to kind of get a gist. This way, Dad actually gets used to how his camera works.
What am I looking for on here?
So anything that's blue or black, we're going to try to keep somebody's skin tone in there because that obviously gives you a variation. But the blue or black spots are the colder areas.
Got
So
it.
if they start to form or move on their own, we obviously have something going on.
Got
Now,
it.
does that camera capture something every night? It does not. It's one of those, if we do catch it, it's a holy cow moment. Like,
Okay.
look at this. So, but if we're not recording, we won't catch it.
Got it.
So let's walk slowly through here. That way you get used to using your device and you're looking at the words and you already have a 5. So I definitely need to write that down.
Yeah, because I walked like right here.
Cool.
But now
I
it
got
says
walk.
You did?
Yeah.
Like, fell
You got
from
what?
the top.
So, from the top.
Oh, mall. Oh, mall. Ash's favorite place to go.
I got 300.
Wait, so what line is the antenna?
Oh, actually, I'm sorry.
I got driver's license. Sorry.
She's hearing things. That's a good thing. That's what we want her to do.
This is your favorite place to go.
We can find lots of it. So, I'll hold this for a second. I'm going to teach you how to use this guy. Go ahead and pull the antenna. Oh, it's not very loud. Flip it around. Flap it open. All the way around. Flap it back. Underneath that flap, and lift it back up again. There's 2 little white buttons. The one closest to the edge is the one you want. The other one.
Okay, do I press it?
Yep, press all the way in. So it clicks. Nope, gotta stay flush with the. It'll be flat like the back of this. Okay. Nope, didn't stay. Gotta take it all the way in. Use your nail again. Okay, look up. There you go. Flip it back around so you can actually see it. Alright, so it's gonna jostle with. Yeah, right, I told you. That's why I pointed it down to begin with. So take that one back. On the right hand
You don't
side,
switch?
here, whenever it's going off,
Don't
these
like
are
it.
movements.
Nice.
There's
Yeah, you
4
like that.
buttons along the spine of it. So feel for that bottom one. That'll reset your field. There you go. So if it's still going off and you're not moving, then we probably have something. But your thumb should always be on that button, ready to keep clicking it. So that way we know it's not your movement. That's obviously not your movement. So you keep clicking the button and it keeps going off. So something is
I got
moving.
South
It might be
Carolina.
this number, the antenna, working the antenna.
So what is it?
If we
3.9.
anything above like 3, 3.5, you had a 5, which is good.
Now there's no movement.
Yep. And we obviously don't have anything going on with the antenna piece anymore. So I say we go get into so much deeper history than just
Do it.
football players and ponies. That's from you walking.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not here to make stuff up for you guys.
Oh, that was probably Anderson.
Should be coming from your soul. She waiting up for my nap. She's just ready to come in and rip your heart out.
Are you gonna haunt me when you're dead?
Me? Of course I will.
Are you gonna hunt me?
Of course.
We hope you win in Vegas.
You guys are going to find in some of the places I take you, like the place we just came from and where we are now, you can probably shut that off because I'm going to go into some history.
Where do I shut it off?
That's the little white button in the back. How about that?
It got to like 22.
You were by the parking meters, so it's going to spike over there for sure.
Alright.
So, this, I'm going to take you to places tonight of sometimes something that once was. This is obviously a parking lot, but this used to be a big part of Charleston's history. So I like to tell it because the other tourists don't come here. So it's just an interesting space. So this place used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. So their mansion actually sat in the front of this lot. And Eliza's garden was lined up with that church over there and came all the way across. And we're standing where the servant and slave quarters would have been. So who the heck were these people? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. A son and a nephew, signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Pretty big deal for us, but nobody wants to talk about politics, including kids. So let's talk about Eliza. Eliza was actually pretty cool. We're talking about colonial times, so 1700s. Eliza married Charles at a young age. I'm not going to be giving you questions either, like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the Red Barn either. You're going to get the answers from your spirit boxes, and believe it or not, the number 300 is relevant. And I'm going to tell you why at the very last stop. So, with that said, Eliza married Charles at a young age. I'm not going to tell you how old she was, but Charles was over double her age. So you can ask how old they were when they got married. But she married him because her father over in England thought he was dying, and he wanted to see all of his kids one last time. She didn't think he was dying. So she got married instead, and he got better. So she was right. He wasn't going to die right away. He starts sending her gifts over from England. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. So that's how we use it today. It started right here. That's the interesting piece. The other interesting piece is that she had to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated in obviously not so warm temperatures. Once she had it all settled in, she calls her dad and says, hey, I gotta be able to sell this stuff. Give me some contacts. They had a businesswoman in colonial times, international. That's a pretty big deal. Like, a lot of people don't realize they weren't businesswomen during this time frame. So the fact that she was able to pull it off and actually basically save the colonies was a pretty huge deal for all of us. So let's talk about the weird stuff about Eliza, because that's why everybody comes on this tour, right? They want to know the weird, creepy stuff. So first off, she was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. So both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. That's the name they had before they were married. So to find out what the maiden name was, you can obviously what happened to the mansion. It's not here anymore. Then you can ask when that tragedy happened. So I'll kind of give you the clue that it was a tragedy of what happened to the mansion, which is not here. As far as the kids, try to find out how many she had and maybe get their names. There's a tragedy among those kids that she doesn't like to talk about, so kind of take that for what it's worth. If we start poking the bear too hard, all activity will stop, granted we have any at all. So, Eliza's death, you can ask her how she died, you can ask her when she died, where she buried, and what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So, again, these are all very specific non-yes and no questions, so we're going to actually have some fun with this. I'm going to check you guys in on the website where the tickets were purchased, where you guys kind of get a head start. Nobody likes the teacher hanging over the shoulder anyways. You guys are asking questions to open air. So the only thing I'll tell you, Dad, is that people don't like the cars being filmed, which obviously we're all adults here. I don't think I have to tell you that. So again, have some fun in here. You're going to be looking for hotspots with this guy. You'll turn the REM pod back on. That's the little white button in the back. 2.7.
It was at 2.1.
Now last night that thing went all the way up to 90 in here. Like, that's almost dangerous levels if it were to be consistent. Just so you guys know.
Iced tea.
So, wait, are you good? Where are you going to be?
I'm gonna actually, it's only gonna take me a minute to check in. You guys, we're gonna stay within the confines of the lot, just don't go near any vehicles.
Like,
Now, and what questions do we ask?
So, just like the ones I gave you, about her death, anything about her kids as far as the names and how many.
if I ask, where will the answer be?
The answer will come here. So it's gonna be, because this isn't gonna answer you. This is only gonna show you if there's an emotion near you, or you're basically gonna stop and ask questions when these numbers start to go up.
Will I keep it, like, in mind and tell you what I got?
Yeah, and then like I said, it's only gonna take me a minute to check you guys in, and then we'll catch right back up to you.
Okay.
Okay.
So give me 1 minute, and I'll catch up to you.
You have it on now.
Justice.
Let me help you out with this guy.
What are your children's names?
So you're looking for motion, and I'm looking for
Listen to something on the radio.
What?
Something on the radio.
Okay. Do we just like yell it out? How many kids do you have?
I said, wait, Daddy.
I mean, what's your number on that now?
0. I said, when did you die? And it said store.
Okay, keep going, keep going. We're going to get high.
I heard 3. Do we need to be asking stuff?
I think we're supposed to see her thing get high.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What's that? Oh,
Let's go.
move.
We're getting it higher than that, obviously. Let me know.
Three fingernails before 3.
I heard
You.
Oh.
I got, I also got 3. And I got 1 Because 3 is 1 and 5.
I think I've got something, Anderson.
You're getting a lot of radio station names.
It said body.
Yeah, that's how she died.
Yeah, that's what it said. It said body street.
So what are you, is it just going through the radio channels for you?
Yeah, I can. Do you want to hear it for a second?
Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it through yours.
I basically can hear everything.
So is this what you guys thought you signed up for? Or you weren't really sure?
No, no idea. My mom did all this. Yep.
Most people
She's totally into this stuff.
I could tell like she's super engaged. That's why I
Yeah.
gave her 2 different devices.
I got business.
Okay.
Is that?
It's vague, but it's relevant.
Yeah.
Where did you get business from?
Right here.
Where did it just say business?
No, it said a couple other things. I don't.
You should probably pop in the other earbuds so you can get a gist on how she's listening to it. He's like, no, I don't want to listen.
Oh, May.
Oh, I tied them together. Sorry, I accidentally unraveled it.
That's fine.
I don't want it dangling on it, so I
Oh my god.
What?
You made that up.
Make what up?
Oh
Stop!
my god.
Stop
you made
it!
That, you're making that up.
Making what up?
It just said I'm staring at the back of your dog. It's not hurts. That's what it said. Let me listen to it.
Oh my god.
Oh. I'm going to invade her heart as she sleeps tonight.
Stop. Will you make him stop? He's making fun of it. He said I'm standing behind your daughter and I'm going to invade her heart when she sleeps.
Why would I make him stop? That's funny.
No, because the gifts are going to kill him.
Attention.
That's what I heard. She said you'll never sleep peacefully again, ever.
I got wild.
Just the word wild?
No, it was like I don't know what it said, but it sounded like wild ostriches, blah 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 blah. But I don't think it was ostriches.
Okay. Found anything, Coble?
Scale.
A lot of her terms are pretty like real vague too. We're not getting
Yeah.
a whole lot out of it. She's gotten some EMF ratings, which is good.
27.
I would stay wherever you are. There's much of 27 there.
Eliza, can you go to
So just to kind of give you a gist of like the EMF ratings on there, like that 27 is like roughly what would be behind your television.
went to blue.
Like all the electrical,
Okay.
and there's no electrical anything near it.
Yeah.
So the 27 is exciting.
How many?
Cool.
Hearing anything at all?
I mean, I got like I'm getting random like I got say from the song. I got clear.
You're still reading on it now, honey.
No, not,
What does
it's a lot of
scruple
just
mean?
like
I can't remember.
Scruple. What does scruple mean? What does scruple mean?
Scruple. So it's kind of when somebody had an argument with somebody. It was just kind of like you and I have a beef. You don't. I've seen that word come up on that word list before. So
9. Sorry.
apparently she's listening for numbers.
Huh.
I'm gonna give her a few more minutes to see if anything actually comes out of that box. I'll get you guys the answers and move on. So she's obviously got some pretty decent EMF ratings, which is good. You know how cold it was going to be tonight. I actually bundled up and I was starting to get warm waiting on you guys. And now I'm all cold again.
Yeah,
It's
it's
hot hands on my gloves,
unseasonably
so
cold.
I keep my fingers ready to change battery.
Find something?
Gender. I asked her how many kids she had.
The post.
Tell him.
She's asking you
I got the post.
Oh, okay.
how many boys and how many girls you had. Liza, can you tell us how many boys you had?
Really? Just a small town girl.
Alright, I say we get you guys in bed.
Yes, yes.
Eliza, how many boys did you have? Outstanding.
Again, all very vague.
Maybe she just really likes.
Eliza, how many girls
Really
did you
likes.
have?
What's that song called?
Talking about a woman from the 1700s.
Yeah, she wouldn't. Outstanding. Okay.
So the numbers you were giving me were starting to let's go ahead and hit that white button in the back. The numbers you were giving me almost gave us the full year of the year she died. So
I actually got 6. I didn't
yeah.
know.
So
See it.
looks like you got it. So she died at the age of 70 in 1793. So you gave me 9, you gave me 3. They were at different times, but you didn't give me something else to kind of tie it all together. So
Yeah.
if we would have had the number 70 show up somewhere, I would have been a little bit more convinced. But 9 and 3 separated the way you heard them, not necessarily. I think you heard 3 first, which would almost give us 39. She was 22 when she married Charles, who was 45. So the number 22 will show up here a lot. Now, next year, when the year is 2022, I can probably stop asking that question because everybody's going to hear 22. So, again, I don't like to give those false positives. The mansion burned down in the Great Fire of 1861. So that was a pretty big fire for us. It actually went from coast to coast. It wasn't just a little house fire, and it took out quite a bit of the mansion. You did get the word street, and I do often talk about like the way the houses were set up, but you guys have been here dozens of times to know like our houses are skinny in the front and they go long back. And the reason for that is usually because they were taxed based on how much street side they took. This mansion in particular went broad on purpose because they didn't care about how much they were going to be taxed. It was a matter of
I'm rich.
yeah, pretty much. As far as the rest of Eliza and her death that you were asking about, she was 70 when she died. She died from breast cancer. So I was waiting for anything dealing with cancer. And that has shown up on different types of spirit boxes in the past here. That was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, of all places, which is also where she's buried. I should also tell you why Stories in a Cemetery doesn't take you to actual cemeteries. You're not going to get a whole lot of activity of where people are buried at. They're going to go to their mansion 400 miles away and kind of haunt that place because that's where they love to be.
She just gave me another word and it said practice. Because the ones I got about her, like, her death was intention, traverse, scale, scruple, and practice.
None of those terms are relevant. Like, yeah, they're not really tied in. See where I told you, like, most of that's not really going to mean anything because it's just going to generate a word from time to time anyway.
13.
You're getting a lot of good EMF spikes, and I got a good lot of those written down, so that's pretty good stuff. And you're going to see throughout the night, like, those are high numbers based on some of the other locations we're going to go to. As far as the kids, there was 4 of them, not 6. I think one of you said the number 6. So,
I think I said 4 at some point.
you can give me the number 4. I would have just turn the flashlight.
Cool.
So you don't want to hit any of those lights on the front.
Sorry.
You're okay. Just reset it so you can actually see it again. The names of the kids, we had Charles that I gave you, and then we had Thomas. Then there was baby George who didn't make it. We don't know how old George was when he died, because he was an infant. He could have been days or weeks old. And then there was one daughter, Harriet. She actually lived in the Myrtle Beach area because she married in Horry, which Myrtle Beach is in Horry County. So again, lots of interesting things usually pop up around here dealing with all the different Charleses. We have 2 different Elizas. I also kind of played a little trick on you as far as Eliza's death. When we got here, I told you I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse.
Yeah, I remember you told me, or you said
The
that.
president that took her to her grave was George Washington. So I do that to see who's going to be subject to subliminal messages and give me the George Washington bit right away.
Cool.
It's the only game that I play on you all night, I promise.
Cool.
I just got 4 at 8:31.
You got 4.
I got convey, Evan, Reed, and level.
Yeah, I got nothing on that. Nothing on any of them. Again, I'm not here to make stuff up. So here's what's going to happen from here. We're going to go to Lodge Alley. It's about 3 blocks up the road. You can stop your recording at this point. That's the red square.
Can I turn that thing off?
You can Lodge Alley. We get things like Illuminati, bricks, clay, anything dealing with Freemasonry. So again, it's an interesting space all in all. We are going to walk through the rest of this alley and kind of give you, obviously the whole gist. And of course, if you want to start your recording again, you can. We don't get much readings on the EMF here, just so you know. You can, but if you want to definitely keep it out. The next place we're going to actually go to, we're literally right on the edge of where I'm about to take you guys. I've already started. But we're going to make a right when we exit out of here, cutting through a neighborhood. So,
I got heinous and medium.
heinous. Like
I got
heinous
Phil.
crime.
Heinous.
That's failed?
Phil.
Phil.
Like PHI, like Dr. Phil.
Oh, I like Dr. Phil. I like Dr. Phil. 6. 6 sons, maybe. I don't know.
This is Lodge Alley Inn next to you guys, and every hotel has a claim of a ghost. They never give me free rooms to verify them.
Yeah.
So next summer, the wife and I will be doing a round robin of all the haunted claims to see how real they are.
Cool.
And of course, that'll be up on the podcast, whether they're actual legitimate or not.
Love.
As. I literally just got the hiccups. Not gonna be fun.
When was the last time you guys took a ghost tour in Charleston?
Oh, we've never done one.
Really?
Yep.
I got as.
I'm glad I asked. Now I can kind of give you some of the folklore in between, since we're a smaller group. Kind of moving on.
Way.
So this is like all of this above is considered residential. And then of course on the side we're on is all residential behind us. It's all part of our
Way. I just got kid.
Yeah.
Oh, I got planner. That's how it's going. I got planner.
Rudolph.
Wait, where's Rudolph? Oh.
stop is here. Now, a year ago, I used to take my groups all the way through here, but it's residential at the end, and I'm the noisy guy that got kicked out. So I like to tell the story out here. So we're allowed to go up to halfway. That's the law. But for us to actually investigate it, we still get enough things that pop up on spirit boxes and your camera, even from out here. So this is Philadelphia Alley. It used to be called Duelers Alley. So this is where all of our duels used to occur for Charleston. So if you guys have seen Hamilton or not, because I know most young ladies have, they're obsessed with it, including my daughters. But again, this is a very interesting tale. So Doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. He moves down here because his fiancée Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney handling that money for her, and he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He's just after your money. So he moves to Charleston to prove that he's not. So when he gets here, the coachman that brought him in, he sets him up to be robbed and killed. So it's not a very good start. Somebody walking by says, hey man, this guy's going to try to kill you for your money. You don't want to stay here. Let me take you somewhere else. He takes him to 59 Church Street, which is right up the road. He rents a room from this guy's friends. His name is Ralph, by the way, Ralph Isaacs. And Ralph and the doctor become friends. And the doctor's practice takes off. So he's making lots of money on his own at this point, and Amanda's moving down soon. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. So every haunted city has a whistler. Ours is a doctor. I can't put it any other way. But this is all right. So with that, Ralph and the doctor go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. It's just the way things worked back then. It's kind of like you guys going to see the movies, but you make more money and she can't sit next to you. So they talk about the movies on the way home, the play. They start arguing about the actress that was here. The doctor loves the new actress, Ralph does not. So what happens from there is they start arguing, and then Ralph starts making fun of and insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island. So they go their separate ways. Ralph puts an ad in the newspaper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. I know history can be boring. So I seen that yawn.
No, I'm just tired.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys been out all day. So the doctor rebuttals with, let's go to Duelers Alley, we're going to settle this, which means somebody's going to die. We're going to go to a gun booth. So they take their 20 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend, which is most of the time that's what happened at a duel. He just wanted to show off. He had the bravery. So with that, Ralph still has his one shot, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. So the doctor didn't die. His friends pick him up and carry him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later after trying to bleed himself out, trying to kill himself. So
Why didn't you not shoot?
'cause it was his friend.
Yeah.
He was willing
No,
to
wait,
forgive.
Oh, well then why? No, I'm saying the one that like shot him in the knee. Why didn't you just not shoot?
Because he also wanted to make a point. He was still pretty angry about the whole ordeal. So again, it's a scruple that we'll never understand. There's your word scruple. This is where the word scruple would normally show up, by the way.
The Cobble River.
Yeah, I thought
We
it
had it
a
back
while
at the pink,
ago.
yeah, the pink man site. So they say as you walk through this alley that I cannot take you down, but you can hear the whistles from the doctor. If you guys do happen to walk down there on your own, turn on your voice recorders on your cell phones and listen to them later and see what you get. Keep in mind, people, locals, we all know the story. So anytime somebody walks down Cumberland or Queen Street on the other side, they throw a whistle down the alley. I'm one of them. I do it every single night on my way back to my garage.
Got it.
So again, just kind of pay attention to those certain things. The other thing that I used to show off there, and one of the reasons why I kicked it out, is because there's a mansion at the end of this place. And as you walk through this alley from this side going to the other, the bricks get older. They are sun-dried bricks from slave kids. There's a full handprint of a slave child at the end of this alley. And again, I used to point it out just because it is a history and ghost hunting tour, so people would always stop. And it was right outside this gentleman's dining room window, and he was not happy about it. So again, it's about 14 to 18 bricks in from the Queen Street side, so if you guys do happen to go down there, and there are fingerprint swipes in the bricks too, so if you look closely, they're all there.
Cool.
Very, very interesting piece of history.
Cobble walk faster.
All three of them. And now we just got today.
Well, tomorrow is the actual, that's the funny thing. That's when the actual anniversary is. That's why
Irish music started playing. Yes.
I learned how to do
She's
Irish
Irish.
step dancing and advisory.
like I said, there's tons of stories on this corner. That's why every ghost tour likes to come up here.
Fern.
Wait, can I turn the antenna on?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I will tell you, don't pay attention to anything from that corner. Or we may wander around, but that corner over there is going to give you readings too. So. Now, what did you hear again?
Fern.
What was before that?
The Irish music, right?
Irish music.
Oh yeah.
Wait, how do I know if it... Oh, I got Indian.
I think I may have turned it off.
What'd you do now?
Big Blue. 83.
83.
Yeah.
Got it. 84 and 1781.
Oh, so close.
You were so close.
News. I got news.
It's weird because she's getting words relatable to the Philadelphia Alley, and you're getting words related to here. Now you have the word Indian. I don't know if they would have crossed over the Indian Ocean. I don't know what their traffic was like. So there could be something like that. 83.
Asheville.
Nashville?
Asheville. I don't know.
It's just weird how they're picking up two different stories.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
The fact that you're getting anything on that device, this is normally a dead zone for that. So, I don't normally get much from that black box with the antenna. If I get anything, it's usually that's from your movements. There you go. It's funny is I normally hand it to females because they walk more gracefully than us.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see what's going to come up here.
You want me to like
Oh my gosh.
That's
It's going crazy.
news.
It just went crazy.
What did it do?
It went all the way, okay. It went all the way to the top.
Like to the red? Were you moving? Were you walking?
Yeah.
I really need to use the restroom.
I know. We'll have to wait. So I think we have 30 minutes left.
Really?
Yeah.
Like I have to go right now. Like or I'm gonna. There's gonna be a blind Sunday.
Is that Ralph Isaacs has the same
What do you need to do?
issue with
Go to the ladies' room.
So,
Need your wallet?
Rhode Island.
No, I haven't.
So I've seen.
I'm not sure what the hell.
And your words are like attached to the alley. Hers seem to be more attached to the one.
I got press. I don't think that's
She
important.
also has news, and we talked about Ralph putting an ad in the newspaper.
I got a new one finally.
After.
I got after.
What do you need to sneak in? Shall we? Do you need to use the restroom?
Yes.
Is that possible?
Yeah. There's actually a restroom in that garage that's clean.
Yeah, let me walk her there really
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, you're good.
Okay. Can you wait with her?
Yep, no problem.
You're mobile, you mobile.
I see it right here.
That's good. Plus, I think I just hit a dead spot.
I don't know what I think about this.
What?
And then I think about this thing cables into it.
Cobra really can do it. Is that on?
Yeah, sure. Alright. That's the engine right there. There's an engine right here. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use an engine right next to you.